This is your boy Leon D. We're going to talk about a lot of things on this podcast, primarily food. I like to talk about food a lot, but we're going to talk about food around the world. We're going to talk about some other things that's going to touch your heart or make you mad. It really don't matter, but I'm going to tell you about it though. DJ Leon D. Peace. Let's get it on. Well, this is your boy DJ Leon D. I'm going to talk about some food in a place that shouldn't even be called a place. Let me tell you what it's about. I went to a city called Flagstaff, Arizona. I'm going to tell you about it. If you have restaurants in your city and the number one restaurant is Cracker Barrel, you should not be called a city. You should not be called a city. I went to Flagstaff and there is nothing or nowhere to eat. I stayed 3 days and I ate almost every meal at Cracker Barrel. I tried other places, but here's the problem you run into. Flagstaff don't have any food that's really native to Flagstaff. And they put chili lime or chili on everything. I mean everything. Everything they eat is imported from somewhere else or is someone else's national or state food. Everything they eat. So that's how that city works. And most places for dinner, if they serve dinner, they don't serve breakfast or lunch. And if they serve breakfast or lunch, they don't serve dinner. I think it's a college town because Northern Arizona University was across the street from where I was at. You don't have a decent hotel in the entire city. Now, I stayed at the Embassy Suites. And it was the most disappointing Embassy Suites I've ever stayed at. And I have stayed at more than 100 Embassy Suites in my lifetime. And most of them in the last 10 years. There is nothing to eat. You get Billy Bob barbecue. Who knows anybody named Billy Bob who barbecues? Nobody. So when you go there, your expectations should be zero. Because that's what you're going to get if you eat out or you eat there. There is nothing to eat. It's sad. To me, you should not be called. It's more of a village. It's got 150,000 people in that area or in that city. And yet, you can't find 5 good restaurants. Nobody had more than 4 stars outside of Cracker Barrel. That's sad. Because when I went to Cracker Barrel, matter of fact, when I went to any place there, every employee was a school student at Northern Arizona or some community college, who knows. But there's nothing to eat. And one of the things I wanted to do was experiment with the local food. Well, guess what? The same Cracker Barrel that we have here with that menu is the exact same Cracker Barrel they have there with the same menu. So it was nothing like I was going to find something new. And if Cracker Barrel is the best you got, you do not deserve a place on a map. They should tell you just keep going. They may have had a Golden Corral there, but I don't know. I was so disappointed because, you want to have dinner at 6 o'clock, 6:30. There was no waiting line. But yet you go to McDonald's, there's a waiting line. Who in the hell heard of a McDonald's with a waiting line outside? There ain't no Chick-fil-A. I was hoping. Ain't none of that there. You get these little restaurants in what they call Old Town or Downtown. These are little dumps. These are somebody who plays at owning a restaurant and they're only open 4 hours a day. They're someone who's playing they're just playing. They're not really there to make money or to get your business. And then a couple places that I went to, all they have is just bar food. Bar food and dinner food is not the same. One is when you're drinking and one is when you're hungry. And that's called bar food. When you want a nice meal, that's called dinner. So I was totally stunned at the lack of urgency to open places. I'm gonna be honest about it. The number one place there to eat was Cracker Barrel. Number 2 might have been Sam's Club. hot dog. That's number two. That's saying a lot for this little city. And if you're going to call yourself a city because you got an airport, have a restaurant in the airport. There are none. There are none. And you know, you almost got to go to Phoenix, which is about 50, 60 miles away, to even get something remotely called a meal. Yeah, there's none in Flagstaff. Everything was fried. It was all bar food. And we know how bar food sucks. Bar food is only for people who are actually enjoying the bar, not those who want to have a nice meal. When you look at these restaurants and you look at them online, they brag about the drinks they make. Well, if the drinks is your calling card, I'm not going there to eat. I may go there to drink, but not going there to eat. So when you go out west on I-40, you're really in trouble. You're really in trouble because there's nothing to eat in Arizona, Wyoming, wherever you is, you're going out west. You know, and I was going to the Grand Canyon, and my best meal came 70 miles away when I went to the Grand Canyon, in the lodge at the Grand Canyon. That was my best meal, by far. Now, the Cracker Barrel, after 7 or 8 meals there, you eating everything you like. By your 9th meal, you're thinking, okay, what's next? Now you're eating crap in Cracker Barrel you don't like because you had everything else. Because that's the only place you're going to eat in town. Now, they got a great breakfast at Cracker Barrel for a great price. But that's breakfast. You don't want to eat breakfast all day. But there are times when you will. But it's not my goal. But, you know, I don't mind a breakfast for dinner every now and then, like once a decade, but I can't have it 3 times in one day. It's only so many pancakes that I can handle in a given day. You know, so my whole point is that some of these cities that you're going to go out and visit, even though they had 150,000 people in that city, it didn't feel like it. It didn't look like it. You go into Sam's Club or Walmart, it's nothing like here. But they get a lot of people into Sam's Club because that's the only thing out there to shop at. That's the only thing. There's no comparison to anything else. You go to Sam's Club, and plus, you know, I get my gas there. But as far as the meal, the hot dog line at Sam's Club, getting a slice of pizza look damn good, and I don't even like pizza. But my options were I can eat in Sam's Club or go to Cracker Barrel. Yeah, those are the options you have. There's no debating. There's no arguing. You know, you get to a point where the family knows this is what we're going to have. Yeah, they know that because that's all the options there are. And then you go downtown, you know, you can park, you can do other things, and it's just nowhere to eat. You know, and then some places aren't open on Mondays. Some places aren't open on Tuesdays. Some aren't open on Wednesdays. It's a game. It's a game. And then when you call them and ask them, do you need reservations or are they busy? First of all, no place in Flagstaff needs reservations. That's for sure. And even though they call themselves a steakhouse, don't expect a steak. The menu you see online will 90% of the time not be the menu that you see when you get to the restaurant. Oh, yeah. I learned my lesson on that one. Oh, yeah. So you go out there and you say, this is not what online says. Oh, online is outdated. I'll say, oh, okay. Yeah, we haven't changed that menu. We haven't changed that menu in 10 years. Well, how in the hell do I know that? I came here because you said you had steak, and I show up, you got hot dogs. Yeah. It didn't seem to bother them at all. And it seemed like all the locals knew it. They say, hey, you walk in, you hope for the best. And I'm thinking, you got 4 deep fryers, no grill, no griddle, no nothing. And your menu say you got steak, you got pork chops. Okay, you got to put those on the grill. I get that. But what about this crab cake? Where's that going to be cooked at? We'll figure out later. Look around, plop. It plopped right into the damn grease, right into one of those fish fry baskets. And they're not changing the oil. No. So you order a crab cake, it's going to taste like the last chicken tenders they had in there. Yeah. But you're going to pay a lot more money for it. Now, Flagstaff was not expensive to eat. Well, I'm saying that because I'm probably skewing the prices because I eat most of my meals at Cracker Barrel. But even moving to the locals, you know, it's just quick deep fried food and you move on. And good luck on finding a vegetable in most of the restaurants there, because when people do deep fried food, they don't give you vegetables. Nope. Deep fried means no vegetables. Out of the oven or stovetop means vegetables. That's how you pick your meal. If he's using an oven, this place didn't have an oven, so that means no vegetables. But, you know, saying that, I felt bad because, you know, a lot of the people who work there, their tips are based on your being happy. And if you're not happy, you find it very hard to give a tip. I know I do. You know, and like I said in an earlier video, I don't tip on top of taxes. I tip on how much the food costs and the service costs. Taxes is just a separate beast that you got to deal with the state, not me. But saying that, though, if you really, really want to get a good meal in Flagstaff, well, let me rephrase that. If you wanted to have a good meal in Flagstaff, get it before you get to Flagstaff. But unfortunately, there are no major cities around Flagstaff. There are none at all. You got Williams, but it's back to the national park thing. The closer you get to a national park, the less choices you're gonna have to get a decent meal. It is just what it is. You know, I saw a lot of lamb running around near Flagstaff. You know, in Utah and Arizona, and to be honest about it, I didn't see any lamb on any menu. Even though one place said everything they serve is locally grown. And I was thinking to myself, well, what about that lamb out there? He's local. He would be a hell of a meal if he was an option. No, the lamb was not an option. So they flew in, or they got from Phoenix, whatever it is that they wanted. But the lamb was not an option, even though I would have eaten him with the wool on him. That's how bad I wanted something decent to eat. So I had to bite the bullet and make sure that I had something in Vegas when I got back. I had to do that. Didn't want to do it. But Flagstaff, to all the people who's listening and all you private subscribers, don't eat anything in Flagstaff and expect to get your money worth. It's not going to happen. Go to Cracker Barrel. Don't fight the feeling. Don't fight the fact that Cracker Barrel is one of the lowest ranked restaurant chains in the country. When I say lowest ranked, and that's only because old people don't leave comments or tips. You know, they don't leave comments. So we don't know the true value of it. But in this situation, it was the best option I had by far. Sam's Club might come in second, or buy your own food at Walmart and cook it in your roadway in room. Because like I said, there are no decent restaurants and no decent hotels. You know, I don't even think my hotel, the Embassy Suites, even offered dinner. I don't think so. I think they had a happy hour, and I think that was it. I don't think they even offered dinner. If they did, I just ignored it because I was so disappointed at everything else. But they could have offered it, and I just didn't know it. But by the time I got back to my room every night about 7 o'clock, I had eaten at Cracker Barrel. And I was good to go for the rest of the day. Yeah, so that was just me. And I didn't go out later to see what was going on at these other so-called restaurants because I knew that none of them opened before 5 o'clock. and some might not even open until 7 o'clock. And I was there during graduation week at Northern Arizona University. So I would have thought it was just popping. Restaurants full, family in town, graduation. I would have thought they'd been packed. No, these people are laid back and don't give a damn about you. Because if I'm a restaurant owner or bar owner, I know you got 8 relatives in town. I'm finna open. I don't need but 2 of them to come here and drink. With 1 employee, I can cover their salary. Because I know the other 6 are going to be there at some point. And that's when my profit comes in. But no. Flagstaff is just laid back, easy going. And I don't know, they have a lot of Native Americans working there. But my whole thing was, you got Native Americans. I know they got dishes that they make, on the reservation. Hell, open a restaurant and see can you sell something at. Hell, I'll try it at least once. But that's not how they work. They have their methodical pace. They go at that pace. They have methodical everything. And they don't care about you being someone just traveling through as a new customer. They don't see the potential. They are happy with who they currently have on their staff, or who they currently have as a customer, and that's usually that's somebody local. They won't ban rainwater. They don't want the new guy who's traveling through and say, hey, you know what? Recommend this to your friends. They're not interested in that at all. It's not their mantra. So I was just like, okay, this really sucks because I got nowhere to eat, but I would try something new if only they were open. If only they were open, I would try something new. But give me something that is native to Flagstaff. I mean, every city has something. You got a New York steak, you got Tennessee ribs, you got Carolina pulled pork, you got South Carolina whole hog, you got Kansas City barbecue sauce. You got something that is native to you. Somebody has created something that only your area does very, very well and better than anybody else. Not in Flagstaff. There are nothing that there is nothing that's going to stand out and make you want to just tell everybody, hey man, when you go to Flagstaff, you go to Phoenix, you go to Tucson, you got to try this right here. There's nothing there that does that to you. What'd you eat? Cracker Barrel. Oh, do they have a unique dish in Flagstaff? Hell no. They have the same dishes they got here. So I can go to my local Cracker Barrel and take a picture of the food and tell you it's from Flagstaff. There is no difference. The picture, the color, everything's the same. And we know none of the Cracker Barrel food is cooked locally. It's cooked and then brought in by somebody else. So that's how Flagstaff works. They don't even have a sign when you leave the city saying, y'all come back again, or you're leaving Flagstaff. Their sign says, glad your ass is gone. You won't complain. You won't complain about anything here in Flagstaff anymore because you're gone. Glad you're gone. But that's just Flagstaff. Now, some people are going to hear this and say, oh, Flagstaff really isn't that bad. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's not bad if you're used to it. That's where the problem comes in. If you're used to it, it's bad. If you're not used to it, it's terrible. But some people accept mediocrity as normal. I got relatives like that. They think being broke is normal. They think being 50 years old and borrowing money is normal. But those are my loser cousins. Well, actually, it's almost all my cousins. But those are the losers. Where they think going to Piggly Wiggly on a Friday is a treat for the family because they're going to get rotisserie chicken that's been sitting there for like 4 days and it's dried out from the heat lamp. So, this is your boy Leon D. I just want to tell you my feelings on certain places and certain things in this country when it comes to food. And I might delve into a little politics, but I'm not a politic person. I vote for who I'm going to vote for and I move on. Whatever this crazy world's going to throw at me, I'm ready for it. Ain't too much at my age you haven't seen or done or wanted to do. No. But I'm going to continue traveling and telling you about places to go and, more importantly, places to not go. Flagstaff is definitely places to not go. This is your boy Leon D. We'll talk to you next week.